so much for getting ready with me. For those who are new here, I'm Julia, and this is my cozy corner of the internet, the Cozy Chaotic. We're a small community of writers, readers, hobbyists, and lovers of all things cozy and comfortable. I'm an editorial writer, and I'm also working on a YA novel. And I want to walk you through an ideal morning in my life, finding inspiration, writing, and reading. And I said the word ideal for a reason. This isn't my every single day, and I don't want to pretend like it is. I find videos like this helpful. They really help me romanticize the process. But every day brings its own unique challenges and can be very different. I know that personally. I have ADHD, which kind of wrecks my ability to build consistent routines. And I have a chronic illness, so I'm very familiar with bad days and low spoon days. But today, I'm feeling good, and I want to make the most of it while bringing you along with me. I hope you can join me in these writing sprints, these reading moments, but if you can't, that's okay. You can save this for later or just watch. We're being kind to ourselves today, after all. We're gonna start out over in my book nook, handwriting our morning pages. And if you're not familiar with that concept yet, don't worry, I'll explain it. I'm excited to be using a very new, very beautiful journal. Then I'm gonna pick out a brand new audiobook and we're gonna walk over to the library. I'm gonna find some great places to do writing sprints, to read. They have an adorable cafe, so I'm hoping to grab some hot chocolate as well. What do you think? Are you ready for a very literary morning? If so, then let's go. So what are morning pages? They're a concept from this book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and I actually have it in my book nook with me right now. As you can see, it's described as a spiritual path to higher creativity. I don't agree with or abide by all of it, but I don't think that's necessarily the point. It's filled with a lot of helpful tools, my favorites of which are the artist date, which I have another video, actually, my last one, where I went on an artist date if you'd like to see what that can look like, and the morning pages, and this is how they're described in the book itself. She says, in order to retrieve your creativity, you need to find it. I ask you to do this by an apparently pointless process I call the morning pages. You will do the pages daily through all the weeks of the course, and I hope much longer. What are morning pages? Put simply, the morning pages are 3 pages of longhand writing, strictly stream of consciousness. They might also, more ingloriously, be called brain drain, since that is one of their main functions. These pages are not meant to be art. They're not meant to be telling any particular story or containing meaningful sentiment. They're purely for you to get into the flow of writing and creating, putting your thoughts onto paper. All kinds of creatives use them, more than just writers, but for me, I find it helps me break through that fear of the blank page, that perfectionism that might make it so that when you sit down to write, you take an hour to write a single sentence. It shows us that as much as writing is an art and a craft, it's also self-expression and a means of communication. While writing a novel isn't that means of communication is natural to us. It's also a very meditative practice and good for processing different emotions. Starting off this new journal, I was reflecting on how far I've come. I first started journaling when I was at probably the lowest point I've ever been in my entire life. And I was hearing all the corny things people say to you about how things will get better and people care about you, but things just hurt so much. I think what really kept me going and trying at life was pure curiosity for what the future looks like, for what my future looks like, and now I'm living in it. And I am so grateful for that curiosity. I'm so grateful that I get to be here talking to you, that I get to live in a place I love with people and animals that I love. I am so proud and grateful for teenage me, and I only came to that realization because I took the time to sit down and process without a pressure to create a certain product. As you can tell, I am a big advocate for the morning pages and also just journaling in general. I've been thinking up a future video where I go through some of my old journals, so let me know if that would be interesting to you. That said, this is the end of our morning pages, so now we get to go to the library. that just absolutely beautiful? I mean, how lucky am I? And I thought the little short story dispenser was the cutest thing in the entire world. Here, I'll read you a little bit of the story. It's called The Balloon Lady by Rebecca Van Danham. I was sad, oh so sad, all alone in my pain. Thankfully, that's when the balloon lady came. I had hung my head down and let out a groan when I saw Foot standing right next to my own. I looked up and saw, to my great surprise, a friendly-faced lady in front of my eyes. It goes on, it's a minute long, so I won't read all of it to you, but it is just the sweetest thing for them to offer there. Unfortunately, the cafe was closed for renovation, so I did not get my hot chocolate, but I can't complain. This was basically the perfect morning. When I think of the perfect morning writing routine, I think of time spent in a way that reminds me that writing is not a chore. And I get it, writing looks different for every single person. Sometimes it is just cramming on your laptop late at night or in the early hours of morning right before work for 10 minutes. But ideally for me, the perfect routine isn't really a routine at all. It's a rhythm and simultaneously a little adventure and exploration, both in my story and in the real world. I think that taking that kind of corporate hustle mindset to something like writing doesn't work that well. Typical productivity strategies might be great when you're trying to get a mass amount of things done, but the real value in writing is in the story and the soul. I mean, this little story I got was only a minute long and it's beautiful. I could spend a million days writing a million uninspired words, but what would that mean to anyone? I want to write the same way I want to live and feel. Maybe that's corny, I don't know. I truly believe that creation is an iterative process. It requires getting out into your community. It requires reading, consuming art, doing self-reflection, reflecting on your work, taking and giving feedback, being a part of the broader conversation. And I like to think that's what I'm doing with this channel. Even if sometimes taking the time to walk around the library and find the beautiful little things to record is time spent away from my laptop. If you're looking for some other inspo or more writing sprints, feel free to check out my other recent videos. This is a very small channel, as you've probably noticed, but I am seeing great growth, and most importantly to me, I'm seeing all these comments from people that are like me, that are also looking for inspiration, looking for meaning in their art. I just want to let you all know that you reaching out to me in that way means the entire world. So feel free to let me know what you want to see next, and if it's okay with you, I think I'm going to end today with a little reading time.